Short answer, they were built for speed. Clippers were usually fully or barque rigged, but it was the hull that really made them fast. The word clipper signified speed with which they clipped across the waves rather than float on them. The hull was very elongated and narrow to allow for maximum slide through the waves. This enabled clippers to sail upwards of 17 knots, and they halved the sailing time from China to Britain. The drawback was a very limited cargo capacity. Both the clipper and the cargo needed to be light and high value. Clippers were usually in service on routes where hefty prices could be earned by arriving first. This is the reason for the tea clipper, where the first shipment of Chinese tea to arrive in Britain from the year's harvest could earn substantial profits. This was similar for the Dutch tea trade and passenger service to Indonesia. Also, clippers were used for passengers around Cape Horn during the California Gold Rush, where being first to stake a claim was of utmost importance. The clippers had their boom years from 1843 to 1869, when the Suez Canal opened, allowing for slower ships to arrive faster, where the clippers were dependent on sailing in the correct wind patterns. After the clippers, the windjammers would be the last sail ships to compete with steamships on bulk rather than speed. To gain their high speed, the clippers had a number of characteristics that made the hull fast in the water. One was a steep deadrise, giving an obvious V-shape to the bottom of the hull, giving it sharpness to cut through the waves. Next was sharp ends, bow and stern, again to allow a cutting through the waves. One could say that a clipper was like a knife cutting through the sea. The first ships to be termed clippers were the Baltimore clippers, developed just before the American Revolution. These were rather small ships, rigged as schooners, brigs and brigantines. They were used to run the British blockades during the War of Independence and the War of 1812. Their deep draft enabled them to sail much closer to the wind and outrun the British blockade ships. The design would be copied and developed into ocean-going clippers used in the mid-1800s. Given that they were ocean-going, usually on the routes between East Asia and Europe, meant that they were significantly larger ships than the original Baltimore clippers, but still smaller than bulk cargo ships of the time. Clippers generally came in two types, extreme clippers and medium clippers, the difference being the emphasis on speed versus cargo. Extreme clippers were faster with less cargo, while medium clippers were slower with more cargo, but still faster than other ships. The clipper can be viewed as an extreme ship with a rather short tenure. It had its heyday in a boom market or when speed was needed to run blockades. As soon as cost and efficiency became important, the clipper lost out. So, although the Suez Canal opening in 1869 was a major blow to the clippers, they would still have lost out to much more cost-efficient ships like the Windjammer, as even at that time steamships were only just becoming efficient enough. So the clippers are very much a period ship type that evolved due to an extreme need for speed that came about in a short period of time in the mid-1800s. This period ended both with the Suez Canal shortening the journeys, but also with less need for fast ocean service. Last leg for the clippers would be passenger service to Australia, which lasted to the early 1870s.